Hitch20 number 13.
We're going to have this ghost show up.
He just did indeed say ghost.
Does anybody see this?
And Hitchcock's many uses of the high shot.
Am I too late?
These are the forgotten gems of Alfred Hitchcock. Join us as we explore the 20 television episodes Hitchcock personally directed. The Hitch20.
Hitch20 is made possible by GlideCam, world-class camera stabilizers, and by Asden, quality audio for filmmakers, and by Michael Weesey Books, the world's top publisher of filmmaking books. We also enjoy the inspiration of subscribers like you. Thank you.
I took a step that wasn't there, and, well, here I am. Doctor says it'll probably in this condition for 3 or 4 weeks or something, I don't know.
This is a high shot, a seemingly unimportant shot from Banquo's chair. Why did Hitchcock use a shot like this? What does it do?
High-angle shots typically are very objective in point of view. It's almost a clinical or sterile viewpoint, almost like a security camera.
We see everybody sitting at the table. We see the maid walking around the table. This high shot is used in so many Hitchcock movies.
Arguably the most famous high shot from Hitchcock is this one from The Birds. Hitchcock said this shot had 3 purposes. First, to tell a story as the birds are arriving. Second, to show a map of the area. And third, to compress time between 2 other shots.
Hitchcock uses the high shot in multiple different ways throughout all of his films, but my personal favorite is in Topaz. Rico shoots Juanita, and then we cut to a high shot, and when she collapses to the floor, she's wearing a beautiful, elegant purple dress. And when she falls, that dress sprawls out, and it looks like a puddle of blood expanding around her. It's iconic, it's poetic, it's tragic, it's very Hitchcock, and it just goes to show how he can take something that would be typical and makes it his own and very memorable.
It was also a way of using space for dramatic effect, to create a sense of helplessness.
In Vertigo, we have that iconic moment in which James Stewart is ascending the bell tower. He looks down, and again, this is a helpless point of view from a high shot. Something that should be a powerful moment. We look down and we're helpless and losing control as the world is warping around us. In Psycho, it goes from an objective top-down view to a more subjective high shot in which we're looking at the detective as he's falling back down the staircase. And in this, he's reaching toward camera almost like reaching for the audience's help. But, again, we're helpless in this situation.
High shots also put things into perspective, emphasizing a sense of scale.
A very interesting use of this is in North by Northwest. We're 1,000 feet up in the air looking straight down. It's a very overwhelming shot. But in this, we see how large this building is, and we see these tiny little humans going in and out of the building. But it also shows the David and Goliath comparison in which James Stewart is going up against great odds.
One of the Hitchcock theories is biggest to smallest. And you can see that used in movies like Notorious, where we have that awesome overhead of the huge party, and then the camera in one shot goes all the way down to the hand, and inside the hand is the Unica key to the wine cellar. By using one sustained shot, we go, here's the haystack, and there's the needle.
As in Psycho, a shot from above can also call upon feelings of the supernatural, a sense that someone's watching. Space in Hitchcock's Banquo's chair becomes a vital feature of storytelling. Firstly, by keeping the camera in motion in a small set with oversized props, he creates a claustrophobic feeling. Second, he creates a play within a play. The entire space of the next room becomes a stage, and the doorway is a proscenium arch.
We have this incredible story in which Hitchcock kind of goes back to his roots. We go to London, England, and we're in the 1900s, the early 1900s.
This is a documentary feel. This is the exact time, the exact place where these events occurred. And that's interesting because this is kind of a supernatural ghost story.
Odd. I thought he said ghost.
He just did indeed say ghost.
And we have this detective, this retired detective, who essentially can't let the last case go. And he has to kind of get his justice, and he has to see this thing through.
We're here to investigate a murder. Really? Exactly 2 years ago tonight, a murder was committed in this house. In this very room, in fact.
He's going to host a dinner party, have the nephew come to the dinner. Of course, this is held in the house where the murder took place. And when this all occurs, the detective has multiple stages of this mental trap to occur to get the nephew to confess his guilt.
We're going to have this ghost show up, who's actually an actress, and the ghost who's studied the victim and is going to dress like the victim is basically going to come out and try to freak out the suspect so that he basically admits that he committed this crime.
Is that your dog?
Dog? What dog?
Oh, didn't you hear one bark just then?
All of a sudden, a dog starts to bark off camera. And the nephew says, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" And everybody else at the dinner party is in on the gag. And basically, they're going to act like they don't hear anything.
As the gas lights dim and the darkness envelops the room, we see the image of the ant emerge from a space beyond the table.
They didn't use any special effects for the ghost effect. The actress walks into the light and out of the light, into the light and out of the light.
We're introduced to her image through this disembodied face, and it's very off-putting and haunting, and a wonderful way to introduce a ghost.
Does anybody see this? And he's looking around and he's building this anxiety. He's seeing the ant that he killed right there, but there's nothing he can do about it. And he doesn't want to act crazy. He doesn't want to act guilty, so he pretends like it's not happening.
While the suspense continues to build, secrets are being kept on both sides, and the small talk at the table becomes filled with subtext. As Hitchcock said, dialogue should simply be a sound among other sounds, just something that comes out of the mouths of the people whose eyes tell the story in visual terms.
It underlines the importance of what's happening by doing the complete opposite, talking about something incredibly trivial.
You've had a long experience in the theater, haven't you, Mr. Stone?
Well, I've done most things, I suppose. Toured the provinces. I've been on the halls, too, for a bit. That was many years ago, of course.
Is it, would you call it a
And Hitchcock really takes his time with this. This ghost, this ant, is coming in and out of the shadows again and again and again, and we're seeing this tension build within the nephew.
The candelabra becomes a big part of it.
And the way that Hitchcock films it, it's as if he's hiding his face behind it, which metaphorically, of course, speaks to him hiding from this ghost and from his murder.
And this is where Hitchcock uses the high shot. We're looking down on the nephew as he's the prey for the detective's trap. We're trapping him in his senses and his hearing and his visuals and his guilt. And he breaks. He stands up in frame, and all of a sudden you have this man go from a high shot in which he looks all innocent and like he's the victim, and the true monster inside of him explodes out.
The candlestick is gone. Hitchcock begins to film him in a clean close-up.
Tight shot on his eyes as he's screaming, as he's freaking out about this ghost.
So what he's saying is he cannot hide from this ghost any longer.
Those Hitchcockian long takes just got easier with the versatile, lightweight GlideCam stabilizer. A GlideCam on your production means smooth, flowing video. GlideCam, the name and future of camera stabilizers.
Asden sound production equipment is known worldwide, synonymous with performance and reliability. Asden gives your film the sound it deserves. Asden, quality audio for filmmakers.
When it comes to setting up your shots, directing your actors, fixing your screenplay, and of course, saving the cat, Michael Weesey's experts have every production topic covered. The world's top publisher of how-to books for filmmakers.
There's a nice little piece of setup in this episode where they talk about how the actress is going to come through a side door and no one's going to know that she comes through into the flat.
We find out that it is actually a ghost and not an actress that's playing the ghost.
I've only just this second arrived. Am I too late?
So using that little bit of setup, it's like a line, a couple of words, sets up the great twist ending.
And then it zooms slowly into Inspector Brent's face, and he looks directly into the camera, and he's kind of baffled. Kind of as we're realizing this was a ghost, he's realizing it's a ghost, and he's looking at us like confirming, like, you know, did it get you too?
Banquo's chair comes from a character in William Shakespeare's play that shall not be mentioned.
John Williams always plays kind of the goofy guy who's serious but yet goofy. Oh, great.
The character of the homeowner that owns this house is rather interesting. He's kind of the in for the audience. He is the audience.
Orgus Productions is making an epic feature film comedy about human greed. We need your help filling the fictional world of the film with funny TV commercials. We call it Spoof Dance, and we have $2,000 worth of prizes. Go to our website to find out more.